Hello and welcome to my daily market review. Today was a bounce back from yesterday's Asian tech related sell-off because I think there was no further bad news on the tech front. And what helped the Indian markets was the fact that America has allowed Iran to export oil through the Hormuz Strait for the next 60 days. And the other Arab states have also found other ways to increase supply. So supplies have started. So that's been a positive. So Brent crude was down 5% to about 73. That was the biggest positive for the Indian markets today, and the absence of a tech sell-off. But FIS continued, and yesterday we saw a marginal positive, which was probably because of the short covering as we hinted yesterday. So today they were back to selling 2,000 crores. So even the improvement in the price of oil to 73 hasn't changed their mind about India. So which continues the story that they still see India as not a favorite market to invest in. The story was of the DIS today with almost 4,000 crores. FIS sold 2,000 crores almost, and DIS bought almost 4,000 crores. So they drove the market, and today retail continued to be nervous. Retail meaning non-institutional domestic investors. Let me clarify. So if you see there, the large cap index was up about 0.85%. But the other three indices fell behind. In fact, microcap was the worst in terms of the gains for the day. It was a negative return for the microcap. So clearly that indicates, and the advanced decline was pretty much flat, which is 1500 is to 1400. So to me, that it looks like the DIS drove the market. And so what did the DIS buy? Well, with the crude dropping, obviously the pressure as far as Reserve Bank is concerned on inflation, they expect it to come down. So some of the rate sensitives like Realty, private banks, were the ones which deliver good performance today. And there's profit booking in defense, almost 2% down, and some in energy because the drop in price of oil affected the oil producers negatively. So a summary of the market then is that the story continues the way it is. Index movements are all less than 1%. The FIS continue to be negative, and the fact is that geopolitically, the oil easing, there are signs towards working towards an agreement that's helpful for India, but not enough to make the FIS net buyers. Retails and HNIs and others, they're still nervous, and hopefully tomorrow they will come back and support seeing that. But there's a big event in the US tonight, which is Micron, a company in the tech space, is going to report its earnings. It was down 13% yesterday if you run pre-earnings because of panic. But if the earnings turn out better, that could be positive, but it's not so great, then it could be negative. So IT today saw a good bounce back because DIS buying it, have seen it in a value zone and have bought some, and IT was up 2% today. But tomorrow, the Micron's results would decide the wind in favor of IT or not. That about rupee was fairly stable, the same. Dollar index is indicating it's about 101.6 now. It's indicating that the probability of a rate hike by Fed has gone up to almost 85%, I read somewhere, by the end of the year. So that's the dollar strength. But US interest rates were fairly stable at around the 4.45 levels. Indian interest rates were also stable at 6.84. So not much change in that. With that, I conclude the report today. Look forward to read in my YouTube post and Facebook posts. I will do a write-up which goes into a little more into detail now, and I'll post it maybe very late tonight or early morning. Do remember to read that to get a better perspective of this thing. Thank you, and look forward to tomorrow's update.